In a world still fueled by steam, gears, and muscle, a young girl dared to imagine something far greater. A future where machines would not merely grind and turn, but think, where logic, mathematics, and imagination could breathe life into iron. Her name was Ada Lovelace. Today, she is often called the first computer programmer in history. But Ada was much more than a title. She was a mind that dreamed beyond the limits of her time. Part 1. A child born of poetry and mathematics. On December 10, 1815, in London, England, Augusta Ada Byron entered the world with a cry. She was the only legitimate child of the famed poet Lord Byron, a man celebrated for his passionate verses and scandalous life. Yet Ada never truly knew her father. Just weeks after her birth, her mother, Lady Annabella, fled the chaos of Lord Byron's world. Taking Ada with her, Lady Annabella was determined to raise Ada with reason, not emotion. She pushed her daughter into a strict education of mathematics and science, hoping to cure her of any poetic madness. But inside Ada's young mind, mathematics was not cold or rigid. It was a new language, a way to paint unseen worlds using pure thought. She called mathematics the poetry of logic. While other young girls were preoccupied with ball gowns and dances, teenage Ada Lovelace was studying mechanical design, sketching blueprints for steam-powered flying machines. She didn't just dream of mechanical birds. She dreamed of mechanical minds. And then, fate intervened. Ada was introduced to a brilliant inventor, a man whose work would change everything. Charles Babbage, the father of the computer. Part 2. The fateful meeting with Charles Babbage. Ada Lovelace was just 17 when she first met Charles Babbage, a mathematician, inventor, and visionary who dreamt of machines far ahead of his time. At a grand party filled with scholars and aristocrats, Ada was introduced to Babbage and his most ambitious creation, the difference engine, a mechanical calculator designed to perform complex mathematical computations. While others marveled at its shiny gears and intricate parts, Ada saw something deeper. She did not merely see a machine that could crunch numbers. She glimpsed a future where machines could manipulate symbols, process ideas, even create art and music. It was a meeting of two brilliant minds. Babbage, the seasoned dreamer, and Ada, the youthful visionary with imagination burning brighter than any lamp in the room. Babbage recognized Ada's potential instantly. He affectionately called her the enchantress of numbers. And from that night forward, their lives and their dreams became intertwined. In 1842, Babbage asked Ada to translate an Italian mathematician's paper describing his latest invention, the Analytical Engine, a machine far more powerful than the difference engine. But Ada did more than translate. She expanded it. She annotated it. In her famous notes, Ada wrote detailed descriptions of how the Analytical Engine could perform any calculation, follow any sequence of instructions. Within those notes, she created something revolutionary, an algorithm, a step-by-step set of instructions intended for a machine. The world would not realize it then, but Ada Lovelace had just written the first computer program. More astonishing still, Ada foresaw that machines like the Analytical Engine would someday do far more than math. They could compose music, create graphics, process information, even think, in a mechanical kind of way. At a time when most people couldn't imagine a machine doing anything beyond grinding gears, Ada Lovelace saw the outlines of the digital age. She wasn't just interpreting Babbage's work. She was dreaming of a world no one else could yet see. And in that dream, she laid the foundation stones for the future of computing. Part 3. A legacy written in silence. Despite her brilliance, Ada Lovelace lived in a world that was not ready for her dreams. The Analytical Engine remained a design, never fully built in her lifetime. The world was still ruled by steam, by muscle, by traditions too old and too afraid to embrace what she had seen. Ada herself battled frail health, endless societal expectations, and the quiet loneliness that often accompanies those who think too far ahead. At just 36 years old, Ada Lovelace died of cancer. Her genius uncelebrated, her vision largely forgotten. There were no grand statues erected in her honor, no thunderous acclaim, only dusty notebooks, and a few quiet pages filled with dreams of a mechanical mind. But history has a way of remembering those who dared to see beyond the horizon. Decades later, as humanity took its first steps into the age of computing, scientists and engineers stumbled upon her writings. And there, hidden in the margins of time, they found Ada, the first programmer, the first to envision machines not as mindless tools, but as partners in creativity and logic. Today, every line of code, every computer, every algorithm that shapes our modern world, carries within it a whisper of her spirit. Ada Lovelace, a woman who dared to dream machines into thought, who planted seeds in a barren world, seeds that would one day bloom into a revolution, a legacy written not with trumpets or banners, but with the quiet, enduring ink of imagination. Part 4. The light of Ada Lovelace that still guides us. In every spark of a computer's boot, in every algorithm that hums silently across our devices, in every line of code that shapes the modern world, Ada Lovelace lives on. Her light, once flickering and fragile, now burns brightly across continents, across industries, across generations, not merely as a footnote in history, not merely as the first programmer, but as a beacon for all who dare to dream beyond the limits imposed upon them. Ada showed us that the power of imagination, wielded with the precision of science, can forge new realities. She proved that vision is not bound by the technology of today, but by the courage to imagine tomorrow. Every time a young girl opens a laptop, codes her first program, or dreams of building something that has never existed, Ada Lovelace smiles, quietly, from the vast tapestry of human progress. She reminds us that being ahead of your time is not a curse, but a calling. That true genius is not just in solving the problems of the present, but in daring to create a future no one else can yet see. Ada Lovelace did not live to witness the age she foretold, but because of her, we live in it now. And her voice, a voice of numbers, logic, and limitless imagination, still whispers to us, dare to imagine, dare to build, dare to believe that your mind can change the world. Closing, a whisper through time. In the vast, humming world of circuits and silicon, where artificial minds now learn and reason, there echoes still the whisper of a young woman from centuries past. A whisper of daring, a whisper of dreams unbound by the tools of her time. Ada Lovelace teaches us that the greatest revolutions do not always begin with thunder and fire, but sometimes with a quiet thought, written on a forgotten page, waiting for the world to finally catch up. Her life reminds us, the future belongs not to those who fear the unknown, but to those who shape it. With imagination, with courage, with vision, Ada's light has crossed the centuries. And today, it shines in every dreamer bold enough to ask, what if? If Ada Lovelace's story has inspired you to believe in the power of imagination, if it has reminded you that ideas, even fragile ones, can change the course of history, then don't let this journey end here. Subscribe to, turn on the notification bell, and share this video with every future dreamer and builder you know. Because somewhere out there, another Ada Lovelace is waiting. And every story, every spark of inspiration, brings us closer to a future she would be proud of.